Born and raised in Windsor, and I grew up early years on Crawford Avenue and lived there till I was about 6 years old. So my dad's name was Vincenzo Savoni, and he had various jobs when he first came here, and eventually he worked at Ford Motor Company also. So he had 43 years, the bulk of it in the Ford casting plant. So he made a good life for the family working with Ford. Mom, Josephine Savoni, she was the homemaker. She made sure that my brother and I were well provided for and got us off to school and made sure that she was there waiting for us when we got off the bus. So that was Mom's role. And the fond memories were that everything was about family. And from there, my brother and I both attended Assumption High School. Probably grade 11, 12, I really started considering what are my options. So as I was looking at St. Clair College, what really intrigued me was I really didn't have to make a decision right away in which discipline of engineering I really wanted to get into. I remember the first semester, there was a bit of mechanical, industrial, and chemical engineering provided. So as I reflect back, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that, and from there, we'll see where it takes me. So after the first semester, that's when I really enjoyed the industrial technology program, and that was a discipline I chose. One of the key things that I remember are some of the instructors, Isaac Barsky and John Shuttleworth. I really enjoyed the fact that they had lived what they were teaching. So that captivated me and kept me really intrigued when they were teaching, and yet they'd stop and say, so here's an incident I had, and this is how we dealt with it. And it was like real hands-on. And I found that was outstanding for me personally learning. When I got out of school, there was an agency looking to place an engineering graduate at the Essex engine plant. And they were basically looking for someone that would take their plant layout drawings, which at the time were on Mylar, and transpose them onto AutoCAD. So I interviewed first with the agency, and then they sent my paperwork forward. And back in 1987, there I was. I was hired on in the plant engineering department at Essex Engine Plant. Basically, with 2 facilities and one here at Windsor, I'll spend 2 days a week here, and then I typically spend 3 days a week at Essex. So I rotate, and that way I can interact with the folks in both buildings, but obviously we're connected. The exciting news on the site right now is that there's a new product going in over at the Annex, which is just next door on the same grounds here. So it's exciting as the equipment's starting to come in. So I'm working with that team also, making sure that our timelines are in order and we progress and make our launch timing. But one other thing that's important to the people is the community. It's the community we live in. And giving back to the community is part of what we do also. It's not just about us inside these 4 walls. So with that, I'm very fortunate. A lot of times I get to go on stage and get the award and be recognized, but it's really not me. I encourage it, I support it, I help drive it, but it's really the people that are working in Ford Windsor that deserve all the credit. As I reflected, why St. Clair College to me it really helped develop me into the person that I am today. Today I could tell someone, take a ride out there and go look. I don't even need to tell you why. If you go in there and you really walk around and really understand the programs that are there and the resources they have to teach the programs, you'll know you're making the right decision. You're going to go into a workplace. You've learned great tools. You may not use them all at once, but when they're required, you know you have them, and use them. Yeah, I have a great support staff at home. My wife Leanne and I will be married 30 years this year. We're very fortunate to have 2 daughters. Alicia's an RN, and Lauren's our youngest, and she's an audiology. So the nice thing about our family still today is we eat dinners together and we travel together still. So I know sometimes people say, well, the kids want to go off and do their own thing. They don't want to hang out with mom and dad anymore. And we're pretty proud of both of them, and we're pretty tight. And that at the end of the day, that's gratifying when you go home and you still know that we're there to support one another.